Oh, how to escape mediocrity. That's the topic of this video, guys. Escape mediocrity, guys. How to escape mediocrity. Escape mediocrity. That's the topic of this video, guys. How to escape mediocrity. It actually blows my mind if you carefully start to think about it, that a lot of us human beings are fucking losers, guys. A lot of us are fucking losers. A lot of us are fucking unaccomplished, sad, bitter, hateful losers. There's so many like bitter shit. There's so many shitty people in this world, guys. I'm not even kidding around. So many shitty people, guys. Very shitty, bitter, hateful people. They hate their lives and they hate you as well. Maybe if you come into contact with them. How to escape mediocrity, guys. Especially if you're a young, ambitious man, guys. You want to fucking escape the 9-to-5 rat race. You want to escape mediocrity, guys. You want to become something more, like, you want to like live life in a more like meaningful way, basically, guys. But what does that actually mean? Escaping mediocrity, what does that actually mean, guys? Because it's actually quite sad that a lot of us, we live our lives in such a fucking atrocious way, guys. We live our lives like basically slaves, that we go to some shitty job that we don't like, we grind for hours, and we come back home and we're all bitter and hateful and exhausted, and then a lot of us, we just go onto Pornhub, maybe perhaps, especially if you're a young man, you go onto Pornhub and you jack off, or maybe perhaps you do something similar, or you just play video games when you come back or something like that, or you watch some shitty TV shows and movies. I don't know what you do when you come back from your work. I don't know, maybe you might be doing some other things that aren't like, but you don't want to talk about at all. But you know, a lot of us, we live like such fucking atrocious lives. A lot of us, we live like slaves to some extent. We do things that we don't want to do. That's what that's what slaves are, basically. Slaves are basically, they're like a class of people that they're forced to do things that they don't like. Basically, that is like what a slave is. To some extent, obviously, maybe perhaps there's some other types of legal definitions, etc. I don't want to get into the semantics and the fucking the terminology and the etymologies and all that type of stuff. But you get what I'm trying to, you know what I'm trying to, where I'm going with this, you know. A lot of us, we're basically like slaves. Isn't that kind of funny? We do things that we don't want to do, basically. You work a shitty job, but you don't want to work that shitty job, but you do it just so you can get money and all that type of stuff. We do things that we don't want to do, and it's kind of once you actually start to think about it, how much does that relate to you and your life? A lot of what you do day to day, is that something that you actually are willing to do? Obviously, I know it's kind of stupid a little bit, because in a very practical way, you have to work a shitty job. Otherwise, if you're not willing to work that shitty job, you're just gonna be on the streets. Maybe, and then you're probably gonna just fucking die on the streets. I don't know. You're not gonna make it far in your life if you're not willing to commit to like very shitty, bad jobs. It's actually, to some extent, it actually sort of is a little bit important that you're willing to like put up with like certain things. You're willing to like tolerate certain things, but still, escaping mediocrity, guys. That is so fucking important, guys. Escaping mediocrity, not just staying stuck in such a dire way in life, guys. So many of us human beings, we get stuck in such a terrible way in our lives. We get stuck, we're fucking fed up and miserable. We have to put up with so many different types of things. We have to tolerate so much bullshit. We have to like 9-to-5 bullshit, all these bullshit things that we have to do in our lives. We have to put up with things a lot of us, we don't get to live the lives that we actually want to live. We don't feel fulfilled. We feel unhappy. We're stuck somewhere that we don't want to be. A lot of us, like me at Thailand, there's all these like Mongolia, that's these types of places in the world, guys, that I want to be heading off to, guys. But, England's not so bad anyway, stuck here in England, but still, mediocrity, guys, is fucking horrific, guys. It's gonna cut into you so badly, into your heart, into your soul. Mediocrity, when you're super fucking old, guys, when you're about to fucking hit your grave, you're gonna fucking wish that you weren't fucking such a little bitch. You're gonna wish that you weren't like such a pussy, guys. You're gonna wish that you were like trying to escape mediocrity, trying to live life in a more fruitful, meaningful way. But what does that all mean anyway? Meaningful, fruitful, it's kind of a little bit dubious. Obviously, it's all personal and subjective, guys. But escaping mediocrity, that is so super, super fucking important, guys. It's something that I really want to like stress a lot in my videos. Escaping mediocrity, guys. Not just staying stuck where you are. Not putting up with things that aren't like something that you're too happy about. A lot of us, we tolerate things. We fucking deal with things. We try and like approve. Like we have to put up with so much bullshit in our lives, guys. It's so fucking insane and sad. We all this tolerance, and we have to like, we don't get to do what we actually want. That's basically what I'm getting at, guys. We don't get to do what we actually want. We always have to do all these bullshit things. We're basically somewhat to some extent like slaves. We have to do things that we don't want to do. That's basically a slave. That's what slaves are already. A slave is someone that is like kind of in bondage, someone that doesn't have any like autonomy of his own authority, his or her own authority, someone that's forced to like comply with someone else's needs and desires. A lot of us, we're basically fucking slaves, which is kind of, if you carefully actually think about that, to what extent are you a slave? Like you have to like, you don't have any real autonomy, authority. You have to put up with other people's bullshit. A lot of us were fucking slaves, guys. I don't know, maybe perhaps you might not care too much. Maybe you might just be happy doing like working a shitty job. I don't know. Okay, so escaping mediocrity. Where does it all begin? I think it really does begin in entrepreneurship. Trying to figure out ways to make your own money. It's definitely online, guys. The internet is like a fucking gold mine now, man. Internet. Escaping mediocrity, definitely. If you want to escape mediocrity, 9-to-5 shitty job, if you want to have more autonomy, more authority, you want to be more independent and free, it all starts with the internet, guys, and it all starts with entrepreneurship. Hamza Ahmed, that guy is fucking brilliant. He's like, he's Pakistani like me. He's like a brilliant guy, guys. You need to go onto his videos and you need to check them out. And you gotta like tune into what he says and tells you about. He gives you all the right tips and tricks. Escaping mediocrity is so fucking important, guys, that you gotta really carefully think about this, guys. How are you gonna fucking do it? Escaping mediocrity. It all starts with like your mentality, mindset. Again, do you actually want to get out of your like shitty circumstances? It all starts with the brain, and then it starts at like entrepreneurship. You got to get into that entrepreneurship, figuring out ways to make your own money, to bring your own money in. How you gonna like make sure you have your own type of like income. Free, you're not just like you're not an employee, you're the employer. That's what you want to get. That's the stage that you want to get to in life. That you are no longer an employee. You're no longer someone else's slave. That you follow someone else's wishes and desires. You are the employer. You get other people to follow to meet your own like to fulfill your own desires and ambitions, etc. That's Hamza Ahmed, guy. Look at that guy's life. He pretty much fucking hit it on the head, man. That guy, he lives fucking amazingly. He's an employer. He's not an employee. Escaping mediocrity, guys. It starts with entrepreneurship, making your own businesses, starting your own like maybe not companies, that's a little bit too big, but having your own business, being able to make your own money, obviously through the internet, guys. Maybe perhaps through social media. That's what Hamza Ahmed talks about a lot, guys. Escape mediocrity. Become an employer. Don't become an employee. A lot of us, we live our lives as like we're like employees. We have to work for someone else. We don't work for ourselves, guys. That's what you want to do. And you want to become an employer, not an employee, guys. That's the bottom line here. You want to live your life more like an employer, that other people, they come into your life and they benefit you, and you make them like try and like fulfill your own ambitions and desires and wishes. You're not the employee. You don't work for someone else. Other people work for you. You want to become an employer, guys. That's the stage that you want to reach in life, where you're the fucking employer. You make the rules and you have your own wishes and desires and etc. Guys, a lot of us, we live our entire lives like employees. We're employees. We follow other people's wishes and desires. We're stuck with we're stuck in such a mediocre, shitty existence. Also, if you want to escape mediocrity, guys, what was that guy? Ty Lopez. What the fuck? I don't remember his name specifically, but he said something about read a fucking book, guys. On the Origin of Species, Charles Darwin. Fucking beautiful. There's all these other books I got. Friedrich Nietzsche's Beyond Good and Evil. Friedrich Nietzsche's. You got the Quran there, guys. Bunch of other philosophy books, guys. Intellectualism is also very important, guys. If you wanna escape mediocrity, guys, it all starts with entrepreneurship and intellectualism, guys. That is what's gonna get you fucking to the top of this planet, guys. That's what's gonna make you reach for the stars. You're gonna be touching the stars, man. Only if you embrace entrepreneurship and intellectualism, guys. Intellectualism, what the fuck does that mean, guys? You gotta read books, man. I know it's so painful, but you gotta do it. You gotta read books, the Bible, any type of books. Just get what I'm telling you. Your entire life's gonna be turned around. Read like books. The more books you read, I'm telling you guys, once you start to get into the habit of reading books, your entire life, the trajectory of your life's gonna be like changed and so drastically. You're gonna become so much better off once you start to get into the habit of reading books. If you want to escape mediocrity, guys, it all starts with like entrepreneurship, being like Hamza Ahmed, like making money yourself, becoming an employer, not an employee. And it also starts with intellectualism, read more books, guys. The more books you read, the better off you'll be. The more like well-rounded your mindset will be. Everything about yourself is going to be better off if you start to read more books. You're going to become less. The more books you read, the less ignorant you are. And once you become less ignorant, you're going to start to understand the ins and outs of business and finance and all these types of things. Definitely you should read books related to money as well, making money. There's a fuck ton of books about that. how to become rich and successful. There's people literally write books about this, guys, and a lot of us, we don't even bother reading them. It's kind of tragedy, right? Entrepreneurship, intellectualism, that's what's going to help you escape mediocrity. And guys, I think that's really about it now.